You're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network of podcasts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cinema Geeks. I am one of your Cinema Geeks, Optimus Solo, and joining me for today's record is, I feel like there should be a drum roll and I should do a different order every time, Movie Revolt. Dan, hello.
Hey, I win. Do I get anything?
You won it. The wheel landed on Movie Revolt. You get nothing. That's how we roll.
Story of my life.
Friendly Scent, hello.
Hi.
And saving the best for last.
Oh.
Hard Candy Mandy, hello.
It stresses me out, though, when I don't know it's my turn, because then I'm like, do I go now? Do I go now? Do I go now? And what do I say?
Trying to keep you on your toes.
Is it me? And what do I say?
I don't know.
That's the thing. Every time. Is it me? And what do I say?
I'm just looking at your new glasses. That doesn't serve any purpose on an audio podcast, but I'm just staring at your new glasses.
Is it like a hardcore reflection? Because this light is harsh up in here, guys.
It's all good.
Get it out of my face, though, for real, please.
So today we are going to do a most anticipated record. That's right. We're talking about the most anticipated films for 2019. I know 2019 is already underway, but come on, the Oscars just got over, so now it's officially 2019, right?
Sure.
So we're going to be talking about what films we're most looking forward to for the remainder of 2019. And as we do every year, so if you haven't listened to us before, I'll give you a little heads up. But what we do is we talk about films that only one of us is looking forward to, or just two of us during this first half. And then in the final half of the show, we're going to be talking about those shows that we're all looking forward to in common. And then we'll kind of go from there. So it'll be a little bit of bouncing all over the place, and people will be chiming in on stuff that they have feelings about. When I say these films are like the number 10, number 9, number 8 on people's lists, that really means nothing, so just ignore that. That's just our way of keeping track where we're at. So
it does mean something. It means something to me because I ordered these motherfuckers to begin with, so okay. It means something to me.
All right, it means something to Amanda. So we're just going to get right into it, and we're going to be going off of our unique list first, and we're just going to be going 10 through 1, and we'll rotate around the room, the figurative room. Why do you keep giving me weird looks? All right, so since Amanda's giving me the weirdest look, since I can't see the other two guys, Amanda, you're going to go first with your number 10 on your unique list, which, by the way, you share.
You pointed at the page for me like I don't know where.
I don't want you to go off script here. By the way, you share this pick with Matt, so you both can kind of chime in on why this film landed on your most anticipated list.
Oh, my number 10 on this is like our combined list, as we're calling it?
No, this is like your unique list. So
what do you mean?
Only you and Matt share this one.
Okay, I didn't get that.
I know, you never pay attention with the talking, so that's all right. Just talk about this film right here.
I zoned out during that part.
Going off the rails immediately.
Kevin has been savage this whole week.
I'm going rogue, you guys. Charlie's Angels is the number 10 on this list. I really enjoyed the previous installments that we got in, what were the 90s, early 2000s?
I don't know. I didn't watch them.
What? Super fun. But who's in it intrigues me. Elizabeth Banks, Kristen Stewart, Patrick Stewart, though. This dude's got to be Bosley, right?
More than one Stewart.
I mean, he's got to be Bosley. If not Bosley, he's just the voice of Charlie, for sure. Which is not good enough for me. But
so Elizabeth Banks directing. She did some of the Pitch Perfect films. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think she's got some really good directing chops, and I love her and everything. I feel like she can be super serious or she can be super funny. So I think this is, it should be, from the looks of it, just what I'm seeing on paper here, seems like it'll be very much in line with the previous installments, but I think it'll be good resend back into the franchise.
The next gen of Charlie's Angels?
Yes, sir.
Matt, what made you interested in this one?
I mean, if you look at my list, you'll see it at number 24. So I recognized the name and was like, that might be fun.
This is my number 19 on my individual list.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way. I'm just going to keep throwing numbers at them so we can use them.
It adds perspective. Because this makes it look like this is way far up on our list. And this is way the fuck far down on both of our lists. Yeah, Matt.
Matt, let's go to your number 10 on your list, which was I'll get this out of the way. It was number 23 on your list. It was number 22 on my list. But I was already out of films by the time I got to this. So what was your number 23?
Aren't you special with your real unique list that isn't just 20 superhero movies and then the other 3 movies? It's Tolkien. Tolkien?
Tolkien.
I mean, well, we'll see. Like, that's the mystery that we've been waiting for almost 100 years now, since he first was writing books about hobbits.
What if they pronounce it both ways in the film?
Oh, I mean, that seems like a cop-out that, you know, a first-time director might do, but whoever's doing this one probably won't do that. I don't know, man. Like, Tolkien's one of those guys who's like, The Hobbit is one of the best books, like, fantasy one-off books, like, ever. And then The Lord of the Rings, everyone's like, it's so great, and Led Zeppelin wrote a bunch of songs about it. It's like, actually, it's kind of boring by modern standards. Like, there are so many better, like, more enjoyable writers. I get that he established all that, but, like, I don't know if I need to see that, but, like, I would if I was free.
I've just been a fan of these types of films that we've had a few, maybe like 1 or 2 each year. It seems like in the last little bit where it's kind of like the inside story of how someone created, a movie or a play or wrote a book, etc. Saving Mr. Banks comes to mind. We've had a few like that, and it kind of is intriguing to me. I have no knowledge of the director, Dom Karakowski. That's probably just me being ignorant, but I don't know much of his work, so I don't know much to base that off of. It's got Nicholas Hoult, Lily Collins, Cole Meany. But I'm interested too. I mean, it could be a complete train wreck, but I mean, it can't be worse than The Hobbit, right, guys?
Which one?
The newer one.
I mean, there were 3 of them.
I mean, they all 3 get a lot of love on the film Twitter and internets. But yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to Tolkien as well. Next up on my list, who would have thought the day would come where I'm going to do a most anticipated list and have something from the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm going with Hobbs and Shaw because those are the 2 people that I like in the Fast and the Furious movies, and I think it's great that they actually are doing a movie with just the 2 of them, or at least focused on the 2 of them. And I will watch most things with The Rock in it. So The Rock, Jason Statham, why not?
Why not?
I mean, like, how to make Kevin interested in a Fast and Furious movie? Take out all the actors from the Fast and Furious and everything about cars, and so
the cars is the main part. Take as much of the car part out, and I will be more interested.
Yeah. I mean, this is really a Fast and Furious movie with a name only, I'm assuming.
Right,
so.
right. And I mean, it's probably going to be, just ridiculous, but hey, I mean, every once in a while you need a little bit of ridiculousness. It's got David, I always say the name wrong. I don't know if it's Leitch or Leitch. And obviously Jason Statham, The Rock, and Idris Elba, who I believe is playing like the bad guy. So yeah, why not? That's what's on my list. Dan, next up on your list, you have a unique film. Which one is it?
I have Waves, which is from Trey Edward Schultz, who recently had 2 films I really liked. That's why it's on my list. It Comes at Night, which is, I know, a movie like a lot of people weren't a huge fan of. It was very much like a psychological horror film with Joel Edgerton and also really like this movie Krisha, which was this really powerful performance, and which almost too was not technically a horror movie, but in a way it was. Waves, though, seems to be going a different direction. It's just about 2 young couples navigate the emotional minefield of growing up and falling in love. So that could also be a horror movie if he directs it like he does Krisha. But also stars Lucas Hedges, who's been having like quite the career over the last few years. With Call Me by Your Name and what was the movie he was in last year? Boy Erased as well. He was in Three Billboards. He was really good in the mid-90s. Manchester by the Sea, I think, was probably, his best performance.
Right.
And then also has Sterling K. Brown from that show on NBC, All Is Us. No, that's not the show. All Is Us is not a show.
This Is Us. No.
This Is Us. There you go.
Yeah.
So it is a pretty decent cast. Some of the other actors I'm not super familiar with, but I'm just really kind of curious about it because of Lucas Hedges and Trey Edward Schultz's previous work. So, and again, this might be a movie. There's no release date yet or trailer, so one of those that we might be talking about next year. But as
We're
of
really
right now,
good at
it's
that,
slated to
guys.
be 2019. So
We're really good at previewing films that'll come out in 3 years, so just
Yeah.
be aware of that. I had Waves in my top 50 too, as far as anticipation. I just haven't seen Krisha yet, so I don't have as much to base it off of with the Trey Edward Schultz, but I do think he was good with It Comes at Night, and I'm a fan of Lucas Hedges so far too, so that's why it was in my top 50. Amanda, next up on your unique list, which I guess if you want to do it that way, it was actually your number 17 overall. What was it?
This is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and this is listed as teen. I was hoping it was going to be more just horror. Like, I don't want them to dumb it down. I mean, yeah, they're books for kids, but that should have scared the stuff out of me, man. Like, this is crazy. So I feel like they should have bumped it up and just gone horror, but we'll see. I mean, some of these teen movies, you never know.
Is it because of the scary part?
The scary part?
I'm not familiar with these books at all.
Have you seen the covers? Look up the covers of these books real quick, sir.
I will.
Like right now.
No, I mean like a chick gets like a pimple and then it gets big and then it explodes and it's spiders and then like fucking roll credits.
Yeah.
It says a group of outcast kids stand up to their fears to save their town when nightmares come to life. All right, Scary Stories.
So it's like
I want
if
to see how many
Goosebumps
horror
was
films are going
scary.
to make it on your list, because there's a lot of horror films coming out this
I
year.
had to try to spread them out.
Oh, okay. Matt, next up on your list, it is number 22 on your list. It's actually 21 on Dan's list. Why don't you let us know what that is?
We're working our way down. This one's Godzilla, A Bunch of Monsters. Subtitled Godzilla, the one that has the song from Carboys in the trailer, which is a way more popular show than ours. I love that show. And I love Claire de Lune, the song that they play in the trailer. Here's the thing. The last Godzilla movie was bad. Like, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was not good. And if they put more monsters, maybe it'll be good this time.
I did not even realize when I was typing your list or pasting your list onto it that you had retitled it. That's awesome. Dan, what made you put Godzilla on your list?
I thought the trailer was pretty strong. I mean, the trailer for the last one was pretty good too, and I don't think I disliked it as much as Matt, but I thought the Godzilla stuff was really good, but the stuff like anything with Aaron Taylor Johnson was pretty bad. But I'm hoping with this having more monsters in it and him not being in it, it looks to have a stronger cast. Kyle Chandler is always good, so it looks like they are bringing a couple people back, mostly Ken Watanabe. So, I'm not like, I don't know that much about Godzilla. I watched some of the older films, not a great deal, but this is one that really just got me because of the trailer.
Matt, how much knowledge do you have on Godzilla in general?
Here's the thing, like, I am different than Dan in that I have confidence in having seen, like, 5 original Godzilla movies, and that makes me feel like an expert, and, like, I love those dumb, silly movies, and I know this one's not going to be as silly as that. But I do agree that the Godzilla bits of the other one was good. It was just, that was 6 minutes of a 2.5-hour movie.
So the monsters here are Mothra Rodan, is that how you say it? And his ultimate nemesis. That's what my question is for you, Matt. Is this his ultimate nemesis, the three-headed King Ghidorah?
I mean, they're all his ultimate nemesis, right? Okay, no one's saying the smog monster is. But, I mean, he does, like, do a running jump kick against him, and that's hilarious. I mean, that's one of the 4, right, that are, like, huge. It's those guys, and then also Mechagodzilla.
Okay. I wouldn't be. I've heard of Mothra and I think Rodan the most, but I've never seen hardly any of the Godzilla movies except for the most recent one. So Gojira. All right. For my next one, it's number 18 on my list. I think this 2019 year that we're in here has a good chance of producing at least one, if not a handful of decent war films. And it's, you don't get a lot of those every year. So I think there's an unusual amount of them coming out this year. And I think there's 2 that made my top 25 list that I'm somewhat anticipating. And this is the first of them, which is Midway, starring Woody Harrelson and directed by Roland Emmerich, who on one hand can do a film like Independence Day and on the other hand can do a film like 2012 or some other nonsense that he's
Or
put
like
out.
Independence Day 2. Oh, no, he didn't direct that, did he? No.
I don't think he directed that, but he has directed some terrible films. But obviously this is doesn't need a lot of explanation. It's about the Battle of Midway. So that's about all you have to go off of besides Woody Harrelson and Roland Emmerich. But that was enough for me to put it on here because I think if it's just kind of targeting that specific film or that specific battle, that maybe it'll have enough of a focus that it won't go off kilter. But Midway is the first of 2 war films that made my top 25. Dan, what do you have up next on your list?
Yeah, I have Little Women, which is at first, like when I heard they were doing another Little Women movie, it was like feels like we don't need to do that because I feel like there's been like one a year, but I guess there hasn't been one in a while. But although there was like an updated one that came out last year that was more present day. But the reason that I'm interested in it was because it's directed by Greta Gerwig, who just recently had her directorial debut with Lady Bird, which was fantastic. So because of that, I'm like actually kind of curious now to see what she could do with this material. Often really considering too, because when I think of her, Greta Gerwig, she really has a super modern sensibility. So how does that match with such a classic story like Little Woman? So I think, and it's also again a strong cast of actresses as well. So. And it also seems like it's a good time for a story like this to come out, considering everything that's been going on in Hollywood as of late. So that's why it's it's like number 15 on my list, mainly because of the traction. Obviously, it's a story people know, but I'm curious to see what she does with it, and how she puts her own spin on it.
Yeah, for sure. Great cast, good director. I don't know if we can call her great yet, but she had a great debut. So, Little Women, I think a lot of people, just on hearing the title, were not interested. But once they kind of learn more about it, it's been rising up a lot of people's lists. Amanda, you are up next with a pick that is unique to your list only. It was number 12 on your list. What do you got for us?
This is New Mutants. I'm a sucker for mutants. I just put like 4 or 5 shows as a favorited show for me to go back and watch on my Fire Stick right now. And I don't know what I've been doing with my life because I've always liked mutants and I've been waiting for more to come out. And I don't know, I've been slightly dissatisfied or like I feel like I didn't get enough like Apocalypse. And so I'm looking forward to some more of these mutant stuffs.
All right, New Mutants. Didn't make anybody else's list. I was somewhat surprised to see, but
I just have a feeling that and Dark Phoenix are not coming out, so I'm not even just like.
I mean, if Dark Phoenix is not coming out, then I am not looking forward to the year and a half worth of trailers that I'm going to have to watch apparently because
there's already so many trailers there.
Yeah, we've already been seeing those in theater, actually. Matt, you are up next with a list or a movie that was only on your list. It was on your list at number 20. What is it?
It's Ugly Dolls. Man, we haven't broke 20 for me. This is one that, it's kind of cute, and I'm gonna get dragged to it by my wife's aunt. Around about a month after it hits theaters, if it's still in theaters. It's cute. It's an animated movie, and I always end up seeing 2 of them because of familial obligations. I'd rather that one than the dragon one because I haven't seen the other ones.
Ooh, there we go. That's a good reason. Amanda, is this based on that doll thing that you got? What is that?
That's Fugglers.
Oh, okay.
Those are different. They have teeth.
Okay.
My brother got me one for Christmas, and it's hideous and amazing.
So is there going to be a movie called Fugglers?
Oh, my God. They have buttholes.
Oh, okay. No, is that relevant?
They have buttholes.
It will be a plot point.
Alrighty then. I don't think we're going to touch that any more than we just did.
Don't touch that
butthole.
For my next one, it's actually number 15 on my list, and I share it with Amanda. It was number 23 on your list, and that is a film called Chaos Walking. Didn't know a whole lot about this going into this, but directed by Doug Liman, who did, what are we going to call it? The Day After Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat, or whatever, right? He did that, I think. And Daisy Ridley, Tom Holland, Mads Mikkelsen. This is a sci-fi film. about a Tom Holland holds the key to stopping planet-wide destruction. As he flees with his dog in hand, he stumbles upon a strange and silent girl, Daisy Ridley, and they set off on a white-knuckle adventure into the depths of unexplored new world to find a way for Viola to contact her people on a distant spaceship. And a bunch of other stuff. I don't know. It's sci-fi, Doug Liman, Daisy Ridley, Mads Mikkelsen. That's all I gotta have to say about that. Amanda, why did it make your list?
There's so many awesome, like, sci-fi things coming out. It just looked like a really awesome one that I knew some players in, and I thought they would be pretty cool together, so.
All right. So that is next up. Let's go over once again to Dan. You shared this one with Amanda. It was number 18 on Amanda's list, number 13 on your list. What is it?
It's Toy Story 4. And, I'm anticipating this movie, but also don't want it to exist at the same time because Toy Story 3 I thought was kind of just, a perfect ending to that trilogy and it didn't really necessarily need another movie. But at the same time, we still got really 3 great films out of it, so maybe they can come up with something and make it work. Faith in Pixar, I feel like they've been doing a lot of great work as of late. I actually just recently saw Incredibles 2 and ended up enjoying that much more than I thought I would. Based upon kind of the lukewarm reaction I saw from people. So I'm hoping that it can kind of recapture that magic, and my son's also been really big into Toy Story as of late, so I'm excited to see an actual new movie with him because of it. So, yeah, I get it. I'm anticipating it, but I'm also really scared.
Amanda is on your list as well.
Sames. But I'm just terrified I'm going to be a mess and I'm going to be crying the whole time because it's going to be super sad. Because the last one's super sad. But they can't get any more sadder than the last one, right?
Sadder?
They can't do another sad movie. This has got to be like a happy, we're all good movie now, right?
Who knows?
It's got to be.
Does that make a
I'm
Toy
going
Story
on
then?
that. Huh?
Is it Toy Story without the sad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the other ones, they had sad moments, but I think Toy Story 3 certainly had a lot more. You thought they were actually going to kill all the toys at a moment in time. I don't know if they'll be able to pull that off again. So.
Yeah. Next up on Amanda's list, it was number 11 for you, Miss Amanda. What do you have?
This is The Kitchen, and I had no idea this existed until a few minutes ago, and now I'm like so very excited. This has got Tiffany Haddish, who I'm freaking loving right now, and of course my girl Melissa McCarthy, and curveball Domhnall Gleeson. What? And this is gonna be the plot is 3 1978 Hell's Kitchen housewives whose mobster husbands are sent to prison by the FBI with little but a sharp axe to grind. The ladies take the Irish mafia's matters into their own hands. So this is going to be like Widows, but funny and raunchy and amazing.
Now, this says is this a typo? I have down that this is based on the comic book.
I don't even understand that, but yes, that's awesome.
Dan, do you know if that's right or not, or is that just a typo on my part?
I have not heard of it until now, so I can't tell you.
All right, but Tiffany Haddish, Melissa McCarthy, it actually was rising up my ranks as well because I think those two would make a good pair in a comedic role like this. So not surprised that you found a way to get a Melissa McCarthy film on.
I almost put Margie Claus on there too, so watch out.
You could have just combined them all into one. I'm anticipating Melissa McCarthy this year.
Yes.
All right.
Will Smith and Melissa McCarthy are all over this motherfucker. I just want to let you know that.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Teaser for later.
I'm talking about this whole year. There's so many movies from them.
Gotcha. All right, Matt.
In Suicide Squad, though, because
Nonsense.
out.
Matt, what do you got up next on your unique list? You're the only one that had this one. Tell us about it.
Oh, man. So my number 7 is Motherless Brooklyn. And this came about as I was scrolling through all of Kevin's master list of movies coming out either in 2018, 19, 20, or 21. And here, get this, right? Directed by Edward Norton. Has he directed before? I don't know. Maybe this time. It's also got some other guys in it. Hold on. I actually have notes on this one because I wasn't going to remember it.
Nice.
I know that it is a crime drama. And I know that that's not how you scroll in Excel. It's got Bruce Willis. That was another one. And Willem Dafoe. I love those two guys. Crime dramas. I'm a 50-50 on those. Like depending on if they're like hardcore and gory and too thrillery, or if they're like more like a heisty, because crime dramas can go any way. I don't want to see a procedural like I don't want to deal with courts. That stuff's boring to me. But like if Willem Dafoe is acting all a fool and Bruce Willis is hardcore like he is, like that could be fun.
Yeah, I good actors. Bruce Willis is so hard to predict though when he's going to be in a decent film and when he's going to be just like there. But Willem Dafoe, Edward Norton directing it, it's intriguing. At least I must have skipped over that one somehow because when I typed it in for you, I was like, I didn't remember reading about this one at all, so I might have missed something there. Let's see. Next up on my list, I have one that I share with Dan, it was your number 17. That's my number 13, and that would be Tom Hanks he's going to be in a bunch of films too, so that doesn't give it away yet. But it's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the Mr. Rogers movie. Dan, why was it your list? I'll give you the stage first.
Because it's Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, and we need that right now. So that's pretty much it. Like, it can soothe, it'll fix our soul as a people. So that's why I picked it.
Is that like the best person to play Mr. Rogers?
I feel like it's the only one you could get. Like, you couldn't put like Willem Dafoe in there or something like that. It would be like. That just doesn't work.
Steve Buscemi, like what's going on?
Steve Buscemi's playing God on a TV show right now. What are you talking about?
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Maybe a companion piece with "Won't You Be My Neighbor," the documentary that got a lot of attention this last year. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this in the movie format and kind of where they go with it. So that is what I had up next. Dan, you got one that I heard on a lot of other people's list. On friends of ours, podcasts and stuff like that. So what do you have? It was number 12 on your list up next.
I have The Lighthouse, which is mainly here because it's directed by Robert Eggers, who recently did The Witch, however you want to say it, that horror film with a creepy goat that took place during, I think, was it the 1630s, I believe, or something around that time frame, which I thought was fantastic, really, impressive. I don't know if it was his debut as a director, but it was really strong. This is really a story about a person named Old living in a lighthouse, and I love. It seems like it'll probably be a very self-contained story. Speaking of Willem Dafoe is in it. Also, Robert Pattinson, who I feel like has kind of proved himself as an actor and stuff like Good Time and even Lost City of Z. So I'm excited to see like what this is. I don't know if it's a horror film or not. That we don't. If it's more of a drama or what have you. But considering its isolated setting, it seems to be taking place in around. I don't even know if it's present day or not or what the situation is. But because of the director, because of the idea, I love really self-contained films like this. So it seems like it'll be right up my wheelhouse.
Amanda, you were not a big fan of The Witch, right?
No, man, I just was waiting for some good shit to happen, and it didn't start happening till the end, and then it ended.
Will you give him another chance with The Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, Rob Pattinson has been coming up. I wasn't a big fan of, like, Lost City of Z. Good Time he just pissed me off, so I couldn't get behind him, but it was a really good movie, and I think he's putting out some quality stuff, so, yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot.
What's up next on your list, Amanda? And I was shocked to see this actually on your list.
Aladdin?
Yes.
Why?
Because you saw the trailer with all of us.
I am not poo-pooing like everybody in this world. I'm looking forward to this. I'm not asking for Robin Williams out of Will Smith. You can't do that.
Well, that's
you
good.
can't expect that.
You're not going to get that
So, everybody calm down. Like, if we're going to get these remakes, let's at least try to enjoy them, okay?
All right.
Because they're not going to stop fucking putting them out. So let's try to enjoy it. Let's try to be a little positive on it. It's fucking Will Smith. I like him. I dig him. Him as a blue genie. I think I can dig
it. All right. Any thoughts on Aladdin?
I really hope it's good. I really hope it's good, but I don't know.
I hope that we're all
trailer really. I mean, even not even just the Will Smith stuff. Just a lot of it looked really. I don't know. It just looks really off, which is weird because like. When we talked about doing live action, adaptation, like Aladdin should be the easiest one. Maybe I might be wrong. So
to me, that trailer made it look like it was another studio that was like, "Hey, Disney's been doing a lot of this stuff. We're gonna do one of theirs, but we don't have all the rights to do what they did, so it's like the Golden Films version.
Haven't you seen the trailers back like next to each other? They're so similar.
Yeah, but it just something seems off. I can't.
Dude, it's the same goddamn trailer.
I disagree.
Have you seen the back-to-back
I
or
mean,
the side-by-side?
regardless of what they might have in common, I don't think it looks like the same trailer to me.
Do you want a regurgitation of the
Yes.
original in live-action form? Because
Yes.
they won't do that.
They
We've
did
seen
it
that.
in whatchamacallit, and it was great.
What do you mean, whatchamacallit?
I mean, they basically did it in all of their
Look
films
at
so
fucking
far.
Beauty and the Beast!
Yeah.
They put a
somewhat
whole other
regurgitation.
thing. We didn't know shit about Belle's mom before that movie, okay? Nobody knew anything about Belle's mom. They put a whole other side story, a whole other song. There's going to be some new stuff in here. They're not just going to give us the same thing because they can't. They can't just make that amazing again. So they're going to have to do it different.
All right. We'll see if it also
Just
is
accept the new amazing, okay?
I don't know if it's going to be new amazing. Matt,
Poo-pooer.
save me. What do you got next on your list?
I got that. There's an Addams Family movie. This one's got Oscar Isaac, and it will probably be good, because I like him.
You know what's upsetting me about this, Matt? I almost
it-
put this on my list, but I didn't because I wanted it to be live action.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
wanted a live action Oscar Isaac Gomez, and it's fucking animation.
I agree that he could still do it live action, like he could do that. But I don't know, man. In the last year, Amy has watched all of not all, but both of the two Christopher Lloyd as the bald boy, and then a bunch of the old 1940s show. And so I've been inundated with a lot of it, and this is, I guess, back to the roots, because it started off as a comic strip and everything, and they're going back with that old art style, so everything looks a little different. I don't know, man. Am I super excited? No, but I have to put in some animated movies on here because I'm going to see them.
Yeah. I saw Addams Family, and then I saw Oscar Isaac and Charlize Theron, et cetera, Bette Midler, and, not really Bette Midler, that didn't excite me, but yeah, I saw the cast, and I was like, ooh, and then I saw his animation. I have nothing against animation, but I was like, oh, I was kind of, wishing that would be live action, and then I read the synopsis where it's they face off against a crafty reality TV host, and I got even more scared.
Oh, man, I did not read the synopsis.
Matt, I feel like you need to change your approach to your most anticipated list. You're like, well, I'm going to see it, so I'm going to put it on my most anticipated list. I don't think it works like that. You need to get excited. Put stuff on there to get excited about and be like, I'm going to go see this. Instead of well, I'm going to put it on here because I'm going to see it anyways. You might as well put Star Wars 8 times on here.
Can I do that? I was told that to be 25 unique movies.
We need to make a rule. We're whatever films you're putting on here, we're gonna force you to see with us.
Oh my God, you couldn't get me that much time off work.
We saw you 3 days this week, Matt.
I have this week off.
Oh.
All right. Well, this is a weird coincidence, I guess, because Amanda's this round was Aladdin, and for me, I guess I'm the only one that put it down on my list. Lion King?
It's going to be too sad.
Nobody?
It's going to be too sad.
I thought it was on my list, or maybe
It was on your list. It was just not in the top 25. For commonalities, I just looked at everybody's top 25. But yeah, Dan had it at 29. I got this one at 12. Lion King. Come on, this looks amazing trailer wise and everything, right? Amanda?
I don't want to comment on it because you're a poo-pooer anyways.
Dan, why did it make it onto your top 30?
I did, unlike the Lion trailer, I did enjoy the Lion King trailer. I do like the Lion King story. The the remakes we have gotten from Disney, I think, have for the most part been pretty good. I've enjoyed most of them to some levels. It's not on my top 30 because it's I love the Lion King. I don't necessarily need to see it get remade. I don't know if this is going to be adding anything new to it. I do think the cast is pretty strong. Bringing back obviously Mufasa, James Earl Jones, back again, and I think adding in some new cast, which is a smart move. But I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. Are they expanding the story? How's that gonna work? So
yeah. Especially with all the different spin-off films and cartoon series that have kind of explored a lot. Will they just do something that one of those did, or are they going to go into new ground? It's kind of interesting to see where they'll go with that. Matt, have you seen the original Lion King?
Yeah, I saw that one in theaters.
Oh, one of the rare Disney films you saw in theaters.
Yeah, I haven't seen Toy Story 3, so like I couldn't put Toy Story 4 on my list.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Dan, your next one up, you share with Matt, actually. Second time we've done that. So it was number 14 on Matt's list, and it's number 11 on yours. I'm somewhat surprised Amanda didn't have this on her list as well, but what do you have, Dan?
I have Wendy, not the restaurant, on my list. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm interested that more people didn't have it on it. I'm not, there could be, I guess, different reasons for that, but this is by Ben Zeitlin, who I think I've enjoyed. Similar, again, being a broken record, I really loved Beast of the Southern Wild, which was, a rather impressive directorial debut. Like, it was a super low budget fantasy film with, he ended up getting not only best picture. Also, really, what's impressive about that film too is the score that he created for it as well. Wendy, there's really, there's no cast, which makes sense if he's staying in the same routes of Beast of the Southern Wild. It's just about a young girl is kidnapped and taken into a hidden ecosystem where tribal war is raging over a form of pollen that breaks the relationship between aging and time. So, I don't know. It seems like maybe it seems like a very lofty story, possibly more fantasy based, which I guess Beast of the Southern Wild was as well. But I'm happy to see what he can do with a bigger budget. Having one film in his bout, we know that he, Beast of the Southern Wild was really notable for the performance of Craven. I can't even say her name, but so yeah, I just liked what he did with his first film. I've been waiting for him to make another one. The concept sounds really out there and fun, and we don't get a lot of great fantasy films anymore. So I'm just hoping we get one with this.
Matt, why did it make your list?
I mean, it's a fantasy film, like he just said. Like that's really what I want. I want a fantasy adventure film. And hey, guess what? Those never make money, so they stopped making them. Like we get 2 a year, and neither one of them makes money. But I mean, like that Robin Hood movie was garbage. I mean, it was. I mean, it was better than The Grinch, I think. Yeah, dude, like, I like Peter Pan's story. Like, I didn't see that other one where they sing, like, Nirvana. I missed that one. Should have saw it, but I didn't.
You shouldn't have. No, you shouldn't
I mean, that's what everyone says. It was a fantasy movie. It hit theaters. It's not good.
All right, that swings it back over to Amanda. We're halfway through our unique list, so now it's on to the second half of it. Amanda, what do you have? This was number 8 on your overall list.
That would be Dark Phoenix, sir. I want to see some Phoenix stuff, tear some people's faces off.
You've always been a big Phoenix fan.
Yeah, man, she can like help people, dude, and she goes nuts. I feel like that is just woman. Like we have that dark being somewhere inside of us, and sometimes it creeps out. Sometimes it rears its full ugly head. Sometimes it just peeks out behind the eyes a little bit.
My favorite part of that trailer so far is easily Michael Fassbender's lines where he's talking to Xavier, and he's like, what does he say?
You're going to have a speech. I'm going to do my thing. People are going to fucking get killed. It's going to be your fault.
Like, we're going to do this whole thing again. Because I feel like we've said that, like, about the X-Men films. Like, hey, once a film, this is going to, they're going to do the same thing where this happens, and then you're going to have a speech, and then I'm going to do this. And they, like, kind of play that off on the trailer. I thought that was hilarious. But Dark Phoenix was also on Matt's list at number 11. So, Matt, any comments on Dark Phoenix?
I mean, yeah, I've liked the other, whatever these have X-Men, like the not quite a reboot, kind of a reboot in universe reboot X-Men movies. So like I'll go and see this one. Like Days of Future Past was great.
All right, what do you have up next on your list, Matt? It was number 12 on your list.
Oh man, this one is romantic, isn't it? Romantic. I don't know, man. Like this one's in theaters, and I guess it's I've heard mixed reviews. I like Rebel Wilson. I like Liam Hemsworth. There's another guy in it I also like. Who's the other guy?
Oof.
Oh, Adam Levine.
Levine? Adam Devine.
Like, Devine? Yeah, like the dude from Workaholics. I liked Workaholics. It was fun. And I think that this is a great premise. I like a romance story, and I also like humor. And I think I would enjoy this movie. but I probably won't see it.
Amanda's shaking her head at you. All right, next up on my list, I share it with Amanda. It was number 13 on her list, number 10 on my list. I don't care how many movies they do in this franchise, I'll probably still be excited every time. This is John Wick, Chapter 3. Amanda, I'll let you go first. Why to make your list?
More attack dogs. Halle Berry.
That was close. All right. I'm just anticipating this one because I'm intrigued at how the other one ended, and I want to see where they're going to possibly go from there, because it seemed like a very tight spot that he was in at the end of the second one. So far I've loved both of the two films in this franchise. I think it's an interesting universe that they've created, and I want to see more of it. So yeah, John Wick Chapter 3 is my number 10 overall for the whole year. Dan, you had this at number 35, so a little bit out of what we consider today, but still on your list. What were you looking forward to?
Wait, if they kill one more puppy, I'm done. Done with you, Keanu.
I was looking forward to more puppy death, personally.
What? God damn it, Dan.
No, I mean, I enjoyed the John Wick films. They're just gorgeous action films too, which is, obviously the action is fast paced and a lot of fun, and John Wick kills a lot of people, but they're also just the cinematography is really impressive. There's really like an artistry to them. So it's the world itself has been a lot of fun and kind of cool to explore. And the idea that he's basically, it's like anarchy, it's like the Purge mixed with John Wick, seems like it should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. From my number 10 to Dan's number 10, actually, this is both landed in the same spot. I had this one down at 41, so I did rank this one, but not quite as high as you, Dan. So what did you have at number 10?
I had The Trial of the Chicago 7, just to throw out more numbers at you. This is it's a movie about a famous trial from 1969 about 7 people charged with conspiracy, among things, by the federal government because of basically counterculture protests at the Democratic National Convention. It was a huge that protest was one of the it was a huge moment at that time. It was actually even, I think, shown in that Robert Redford movie. They were, I think, the candidate, I forget what exactly it was called, but they used a lot of the footage from that protest. And again, one big reason that I'm interested in it is from the director, a little bit more seasoned of a director compared to some of the other people you talked about, Aaron Sorkin, although this is only the second film he's ever directed with Molly's Game. But I love me some Aaron Sorkin dialogue. West Wing is like my all-time favorite TV show. I love The Social Network. I know a lot of people hate The Newsroom, but I really love The Newsroom. So anything with his name on it, I'll be checking it out. I do like a good trial movie if it's done right. They can be kind of cliche, but I feel like from the guy who gave us A Few Good Men, that is or at least, he wrote it at least and did the play. We should get something good out of this. I don't know if we'll get a you can't handle the truth type of moment. But it's got an interesting cast: Sacha Baron Cohen, Eddie Redmayne. I hope he can talk in full volume. That'd be my hope with this. Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Maybe Seth Rogen do more of a dramatic role. I don't know the tone of it. I'm assuming, considering the subject matter, that it would be more of a serious movie. And Seth Rogen maybe stretch himself out a little bit as an actor. So and Sacha Baron Cohen, who is people know from his goofiness with like Borat and but obviously he's very talented and can really do a lot. So yeah. That's why it's high on my list.
Yeah, very interesting cast, and I'm looking forward to more Aaron Sorkin too. I haven't seen his TV stuff as much, but I've liked some of the stuff that he's written, in the movie world, etc. And interesting now that he has one film under his belt, how he does on the second directorial chance, and it seems like it's up my alley. So next up for Amanda, your number all the way up to your number 6. You shared this with Matt. Matt had it at number 9. What you got, girl?
Get the new Hellboy.
Why the new Hellboy?
I really liked the other Guillermo del Toro installments, and I think that despite never ever reading the graphic novels or comics, I have a super love for Hellboy just watching those other films. So it's going to be cool to see a different version of him. When I did see the trailer, it kind of threw me off the first time he spoke. because it just didn't seem like it went with his body, and he looks so different. I like the look of him, but like you cannot tell who that is whatsoever. So it'll be interesting. I'm skeptical but hopeful.
Matt, comments on Hellboy?
Yeah, like she hit a lot of the good points. Like I haven't read it. I hear it's one of the best of all time. Especially like, have you seen the bit with the monkey? He's got a gun, and then he shoots like Abe Sapien, and then that's a thing. Like Abe Sapien was shot like by a monkey. Like that shit's hilarious. And then like Pancakes, he like they lose Hellboy to humans because of Pancake. Like Hellboy is a dope franchise that I have not read enough of. I do agree that it not being Perlman is weird, but only because I'm used to the Ron Perlman. If this one's funnier, it's probably going to be more true to the original source material, and I can't wait.
All right. Next up for Matt. Matt, we actually have this at the same spot, both at number 8, but I will let you start. So what do you have at number 8?
I mean, I got Masters of the Universe. Like, here we are, born to be kings. That's the Prince of the Universe, and it's from Highlander. I hope they use it, though. That'd be dope. Like, could you imagine if they just busted out a Queen Jam in the middle of, like, a Skeletor He-Man fight? That'd be great. Like, here's the thing. Like, I love Eternia's wacky-ass shit. Like, I am cussing a lot. I am sorry, fam. But, She-Ra, He-Man, I love them. They're great. They're princes and princesses, and then they turn into big, bulky people, and then they fight the evil skeletal guys. Like, what is there not to love? Also, it's all sword fighting, but then, like, space motorcycles.
I'm dying.
Dude, like, He-Man is, like, one of the greatest franchises ever. I guess the writing wasn't very good, but that didn't matter.
Is this a live action movie, or is it going to be animated?
It's live action. There's like a 50-50 shot this gets made.
At best.
But it's now actually, but they have tied like a date to it, I think, in the like fall, winter of this year. But they haven't cast anybody, and it's the pipe dream that it actually comes out. And the only reason it's on number 8 is because I still have this fantasy that they're going to cast Chris Hemsworth as He-Man, even though that's not going to happen. Because I don't know if there's ever been somebody that's been more made to play He-Man than Chris Hemsworth.
I like He-Ra. Like that'll be great. Like,
dude, Prince of Power.
I mean, it makes sense. They just had a new Netflix series for She-Ra, and stuff's been coming back. So maybe they would finally do it. But here's the thing, guys. This movie idea or like some semblance of this production has been going on for like 15 years. So, and it's had like 17 different directors and producers attached to it. So there's no way this is going to be good, but I'll still watch it. So that's my take on that. Let's see. What do I got next? Oh, remember I said war films. So here's another one, and it's number 7 on my list, actually. And that is from director Sam Mendes, and I guess at this point it is called 1917. I don't know if that's a final title or not. That seems a little bit, I don't know, not super creative. But 1917, set in World War I, if you hadn't figured that out. The story follows 2 young soldiers as they trek across dangerous terrain. Not a lot there. No cast that I could find at the moment when I looked this up. But Sam Mendes is incredible, and I want a great war film, and I think he is the right person for the job. So that's why it outpaced Midway for me a little bit.
I didn't know that was even coming out, so there you go.
Yeah, so I'm hoping between the two of them that one of them is an excellent war film that I can get behind, because I don't know, I have a craving for it now that I've seen all these, and there's been some that didn't make my list come out. And if you don't know who Sam Mendes is, he did, Road to Perdition, American Beauty, Spectre, Skyfall. So I'm a fan. 1917. So next up, Dan, what do you have? Oh, actually, this is one that you share with somebody else, and that somebody else is me. So it's number 9 on your list, number 17 on mine. I can't believe this is not on Amanda's list. So what do you have at number 9?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought that should be, because it is a horror film. It's Us by Jordan Peele. Again, this hugely, Jordan Peele kind of had a huge hit with Get Out, of course, nominated for Best Picture, was kind of the movie of that year of 2017. The Us trailer has freaked me out a great deal. this does seem like to be more of a conventional horror film from what I'm hearing from people saying. I think even Jordan Peele indicated that. So, yeah, I'm not a huge horror fan. Like, I like a good horror movie and here and there, but I'm curious. Like, I like what Jordan Peele's doing with the genre. So that's what has me excited.
Amanda, know us?
I don't know. It just looked a lot like The Strangers, but with like a more like a supernatural twist almost. So I'll see it, but I just it's already getting really hyped up for me. So I'm a little leery.
Fair enough. I'd like Get Out, and I'm interested to see what Jordan Peele does next. So that's the main reason why it got on my list. It is looking like it's borderline almost too horror for me, but I will still give it a shot. So back to Amanda. Next up on your list, you shared this one with Matt. Both of you had it really high. Matt had it at number 5. You had it at number 4. What do you got?
This is Captain Marvel.
Not a film that all of us had. So why Captain Marvel on your list?
I just feel like we've been waiting for this one for a while, and I think that seeing her powers is going to be super cool. Seeing all the 90s nostalgia is going to be so awesome, and getting this like empowerment film is going to feel good.
Yeah, to be fair, Dan, you did have this in your 30s, and I had it in my 40s, so, I mean, we did both rank it. But, Matt, why Captain Marvel as high as it is?
Man, Carol Danvers has been one of my favorite superheroes since I
That's
first got...
you.
I got a lot of sneezes out over here. So Carol Danvers has been one of my favorite superheroes since I've got into comics in the, like, mid-2000s. Like, I've loved her since she was Ms. Marvel. I've got a fat stack of Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel trades in my shelf. Like, I'm super hype. Like, the whole 90s thing's weird. I mean, you know, it's a cool thing. It's an interesting way to bring in a really powerful person and make it work, you know, in this, you know, at film 19 or whatever we're on. So, like, I'm super hyped because, like, I've always liked this character.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, you did have it ranked, but not as high as maybe some of the other comic book films on your list. So what about Captain Marvel has you interested, and what maybe made it so it didn't quite rise as high?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Brie Larson, so that has me interested. I mean, she's been a fantastic actress in Short Term 12. After seeing her in that, I'll see anything she does. So, and, you know, putting it in 90s is, you know, seeing young Nick Fury or young Samuel L. Jackson and whatnot. I'm just wondering how many there's going to be at least one Pulp Fiction reference in some way, I would assume. I guess the only thing that's like holding me back from it is just that I don't know if I really want to see another origin story just because we've had so many. Although it may be a little bit different because it's not, you know, it's more of her kind of rediscovering her past. But you know, it's nothing like it's so anticipated. I'm still going to go see it in the theater. But I guess part of me is just like I just want to like I'm super excited to get to Infinity. Well, we'll talk about it later probably. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I think some of them I'm just a little bit more higher on my list because this seems to be kind of just not. I don't know if it'll do anything new from the new Marvel kind of template of, you know, first films. And in their first films tend to be like, I like Doctor Strange. It was good. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't necessarily to the level of some of their, like this, you know, the Winter Soldiers and other things like that. So it seems to be often like just introducing the character, giving you enough of the world. And I think, you know, that's fine, good enough. But it was because of that I had other films listed higher.
Fair enough. Hey, Matt, remember that one time when we watched all the video game films and it was very torturous?
Yeah.
You got one at your number 7 for most anticipated film for next year. What is it?
Dude, have you seen Sonic's squiggly ass legs? Or the one where he's like doing like the Iron Man 3-point superhero pose, but he's like Sonic.
Talk about horror movies. I mean, that's
Oh my god! Like, this is an ironic pick. I can't wait to see this real bad movie with Sonic as the guy. It's like a buddy cop movie, and Sonic's in it, and it's in the real world, but Sonic is there. Like, what? Like, how? I don't know why this one's not number 2. It's the only reason is because there's 2 more. There's like 3 more. There's a couple of movies that I want to see, that I actually want to see, but I want to see this one because it looks so bad. I don't know if you know this, but like when we would see Alone in the Dark or Blood Rain, I would watch all of the sequels before the episode because I have bad tastes.
Oh, you have good taste in having fun, so there's nothing wrong with that. I just I don't know. Sonic? This is weird. I will see it with you, though, Matt. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
I'll go see it with you.
I would love to see that.
All right. My next one on my list I share with Matt as well. Matt, you have this at number 16 on your list. I got it all the way up at number 6 because what? You just talked about how bizarre that Sonic one was. How about how bizarre Jojo Rabbit sounds? This is from Taika Waititi, who, has done a lot of funny stuff. And this is an interesting one where he creates his own imaginary friend, Hitler. Unbeknownst to him, though, his mother is hiding a Jewish child in their own home. Is this going to be funny? Like the title is Jojo Rabbit. It's Taika Waititi, and it's about a Hitler-based story. I have no idea what's going on here, but I have to see it. So it's on my list. Matt, it's on your list too. Why?
Because Taika Waititi. Like, I don't know how many yikes I said just, like, Googling it. Like, okay, let's see what this... Oh, that's a Hitler just straight up in that movie, huh? They made a movie, but this one has Hitler in it. But he's not a bad, he's funny. Have you guys ever seen the TV show Hail Honey, I'm Home? Hail Honey, I'm Home?
No.
Oh, dude, it was a real TV show that got really made, and it was like a sitcom-y honeymooners type show. Only it's the lead is Hitler, and then Ava Braun is his wife, and it's just jokes about like, oh, Hitler has to like make dinner for Goebbels because he's coming over for dinner, like. And it's like that show was bad, and that was 40 years ago. Do we need to do this now? I don't know. Maybe let's go watch a train wreck in theaters. Hitler.
There was also that movie Look Who's Back, which was like him coming back to life. It was a German film too, so like, I didn't think that was scary.
Yeah.
Is that like the sequel to Look Who's Talking 2?
I think that broke some type of treaty or something.
Yeah, it was a comedy, it was a satire. I never watched it, but it was on Netflix for a while. It might still be there, but I haven't.
Dan, can Taika Waititi pull this off?
He could. I see. Like I almost had that on my list, but like when I looked it up, it also said 2020, so that's why I didn't put it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It might be one of those. All right, that means it is back to Dan for your next pick, which is number 8 on your list. You're the only one that had it. What is it?
It is the personal history of David Copperfield, which is kind of a long title, but it's on here because, again, it's from the creator of Veep. Also last year did Death of Stalin, which was one of my favorite films. And it's I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the title, I was like, why are they doing a movie about the magician? Like, oh no, it's the Charles Dixon story, not David Copperfield, the dude who did the magic. But yeah, it's from Armando Iannucci, who he talking about being satire. He's great satirist with In the Loop and Veep, and again another great cast. It's his take on this tale. It's interesting because he usually does like really pointed government stuff that's really focused on usually governments and things like that. So I've never seen him do something of this nature. But again, it has a great cast. Ben Wenshaw. It has Huey Laurie. I believe even like Tilda Swinton, who's fantastic in everything. So, and Peter Capelli, he's been in a lot of his other stuff in the past as well. So, I just find him hilarious. This might be one that doesn't come out this year as well, but curious what he does with like using. He just recently did a comic book movie. Now he's adapting Charles Dickens. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but I'm happy for it.
For sure. Amanda, we're going all the way back to you. We only got 2 picks each left in this part of it. And this is number 3 on your overall list. You shared this with Matt, who had it at number 10. Dan actually had this at 30. What do you got?
Shazam! That's what I got.
That's it?
Yep. This looks super fun. I think it's going to be one of those movies that is great in the theater, and the soundtrack seems like it's going to be dope, and I don't know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to dig it.
All right. Matt, any comments on Shazam, or you can go ahead and reveal your number 6 whenever you want.
Oh, man. Well, Shazam, oh, man, I got some feelings on Shazam because Captain Marvel was another one of those like early superheroes that I adopted. I really love the DC magic section. Like when I first started reading comics, it was Captain Marvel, it was Shadowpack, it was all these weird magical stuff, like the John Constantine stuff. And I'm so hoping that this movie is good, but it's DC movie. And
slow your roll.
They might go a little too silly. They might, here's the thing: are we gonna get a Wonder Woman? Or are we gonna get a Batman v Superman? That time Doomsday happened. I don't know. You never know with these guys when you go into the theater what you're gonna get.
That is true.
And also fucking A with they changed the character's name. They changed the character's name like a decade ago, and I'm still mad about it. Because they said stuff like you can't make you can't sell a book that doesn't have the character's name on the cover. It doesn't sell. So we have to change his name to Shazam. This character that's 90 years old at this point. Do you
Well, they had to because they got sued.
Well, no, they couldn't use Captain Marvel on the name.
Oh, okay.
But they're for and that's been true for 30 years or whatever. Yeah. But he was still Captain Marvel, and it would be the powers of Shazam or the adventures of and stuff like that. Billy Batson and the magic. It's one of those things where it's I've seen books with not the character's name. Let's say Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen is a hugely successful book. You know what the character's name is? Spider-Woman. That's a hugely successful book from their number one competitor that doesn't have their character's name on the cover. So, you can do it. They just suck. And so they shouldn't have to change a character's name after 80 years because they're bad at marketing. Anyway, my number 2 is Frozen 2 because that movie looks dope. I loved the first Frozen. It was probably the most successful fantasy movie we've gotten since Pirates of the Caribbean happened. I love all of the stories. I love the empowerment of, true love doesn't have to be that time a boy kissed you. That's great. Write a good story. Also, is there a fall princess? What's up with that?
I'm just going to start putting out episodes where I give Matt a mic for 10 minutes and just be just go.
Dude, I'm great at talking. People don't like it, though. I can't imagine people love this.
Frozen 2, yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this one as well. It didn't quite make my top 25, but I'm intrigued. Amanda, Frozen 2?
Yeah, and I think her name's going to be Autumn.
All right.
Dude, maybe, but that seems too on the nose, right? What if her name's Leaf? Leaf Erikson.
Oh my god.
With an EI. That'd be great.
I heard that Elsa's gonna get a girlfriend, but I think people might lose their shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure it'll get a lot of talk. That's for sure. Either way.
Yes.
My next one, I'll share it with Amanda. Amanda, you had this at number 15. It's my number 5. And that is Captive State. Directed by Rupert Wyatt, who did one of the Planet of the Apes films. And why is it on my list? Not just because of that, but because it's starring freaking John Goodman and it's a sci-fi film. And I will watch every science fiction film that has John Goodman in it for the rest of my life. And it's set in Chicago, nearly a decade after it's been occupied by an extraterrestrial force. Coming out real soon. Captive State. John Goodman. Amanda, why did it make your list?
Sci-fi, cool stuff happening, it seems like, and it's close to home, so...
Yes, I am all about this one. Everything about it makes me excited, and it'll probably be terrible because that's what happens. But Captive State's my next one. Dan, what do you got next?
Where'd you go, Bernadette? Bernadette, I should say, if that's the title, and not just me asking a question. That's my next one. And this is one that I think I've had on our most anticipated for 3 years in a row. It's just never coming out. Richard Linklater movie, who... if he's coming out with the movie, it's going to be one of my most anticipated. I loved Boyhood, the Before trilogy. I really enjoyed Everyone Wants Some, Dazed and Confused. I wasn't The Last Flag Flying, which was his last film, I thought was fine. It was, it was okay. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't, considering him and the cast that was there, I thought we'd get something a little bit stronger than we did. But, it wasn't his best movie. Where to Go, Burnett, again, has a pretty strong cast. It's with Cate Blanchett and Judy Greer and Kristen Wiig. So it's working with some different people than he typically has. No Ethan Hawke. He tends to do his best work with him now. It's about when an architect turned recluse, Benedict Fox, goes missing prior to the family trip to Antarctica. So again, a little bit different, from him because it's more of a mystery base. Doesn't seem to be kind of a slice of life type of movie. So we'll interested to see. Hopefully it comes out at least because I've been anticipating it for since we started this podcast. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I have this at my number 27. I actually really enjoyed the footage that's gone out as far as like the teaser trailer or whatever that was released. So that has me intrigued. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too. That means we each only have one more pick on this side of the break. And Amanda, you're going to be the first one that actually reveals your number one overall most anticipated film of this year because you were the only one that has this on your list. What is it?
It is Men in Black International. I lost my fucking mind when I saw this trailer, and I cannot wait for this to come out. It's got everything and everybody I want to see together. It's going to be great.
All right. Men in Black International coming at Amanda's number one spot for most anticipated film of 2019. Matt, we're not going to reveal your number one yet, but we will reveal your number two overall for this year. What is it?
Dude, nobody knows what my number one could possibly be. But we all know that my number two is Detective Pikachu. Have you seen this? They put Ludicolo in this one. Like, he's never in a movie. Ludicolo, he's hilarious. He's from Gen 3. He's like, he wears a sombrero. He is a cactus. And he also apparently is a bartender. That's what it looks like. I don't know, man. This movie just gets more and more great, and I can't wait. And I've decided all my reaction images from now on are just going to be Pokemon from Detective Pikachu because they're so expressive and they're so good. Do you see that Snorlax? He's sleeping on a crosswalk. I remember Fire Red.
Did Matt just speak in Chinese?
I mean, I think it's Japanese. It's Pokemon.
Oh, there we go. I didn't understand a word you just said.
Dude, I will explain Ludicolo to you.
I would love to do that off the air. Yeah, I'm not surprised that you have this one up high on your list. You'll have to let me know how it is because Pokemon was after me, so I just don't know anything about it.
I did think the trailer was pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. So
there we go. Vote of approval from Dan. Next up on my list, hey Dan, remember when we were talking about films that have been on our list for like a million years? Well, here's one that's on our list again. We both share it. We're revealing all these high picks. We just revealed Amanda's number one, Matt's number two. How about my number two and Dan's number three? That would be, hey, it's finally gonna come out, right? The Irishman. Dan, what do you got to say about this one that we haven't said in the last 3 years of this recording?
Hey, in the Oscars there was a trailer for it, so that's awesome. So we got that going for us. So yeah, it's Scorsese with De Niro and Pesci. It's I don't like it's got an incredible anticipation. I don't know if it can follow through. You're thinking about Goodfellas and Casino. Could it be that good again? I don't know. Can Scorsese get a good performance out of De Niro? Hasn't given a good performance. I guess he was fine in Silver Linings Playbook, so maybe it's an exaggeration, but it's him doing a crime mob movie again. So yeah, I mean, Goodfellas is one of my favorite films, so of course I've been gonna love this movie. Hopefully.
All right, last one on this side of the break, Dan. It's your number 5 overall. Last one that only appeared on one person's list. What do you got, and tell us about it?
The Truth. It's my next one. Also, it's from who I think. And when I think about it, I'm not Hirokazu Koreeda, who is probably, when I look at his films, possibly my favorite director of the decade. Like Father Like Sons was one of my favorite movies of the year when that came out. I just recently caught up with Shoplifters, and that was fantastic. It might actually end up being my favorite movie of the year when all is said and done. After the Storm last year was in my top 10. There's some other movies that have come out in this decade that he's done that I haven't seen that I need to catch up with. So I'm super excited for The Truth. He's a really great ability to get at like different family dynamics. And especially within the culture of Japan, even being on the outside of that culture is just fascinating to see his ability to really kind of showcase life and take concepts that almost sound like a bad like TV movie where, one was people being switched at birth and making it actually work and say something about fatherhood. So I'm excited to see what he does with The Truth.
All right, so that is it for our unique picks. We're going to take a very small break here. When we come back, there was 6 films that appeared on 3 of our lists and 2 films that appeared on all 4 of our lists. So we're going to reveal those, and we'll talk about them briefly after the break.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk.
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download the show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
Hello, everyone. This is JD from the In Session Film Podcast. Each week, we review
the latest from Hollywood, California.
Well, yes, Brendan. We also
give top 3 lists.
Okay, yeah. Thanks again, Brendan. Additionally, you can hear us
talk other movie news, trailers, varying movie series, or other interesting film-related topics, and even rants and raves of the week.
On top of our main show, every Friday,
you can also hear our extra film podcasts.
You can listen to the In Session Film Podcast on
iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or at InSessionFilm.com. Listen to the In Session Film Podcast every Monday and Friday. Subscribe today and hear me verbally beat JD like a Cherokee drum.
No. That's not how this works, sir.
Hey guys, it's Optimus Solo and
Hard Candy Mandy.
And we just wanted to let you guys know about another podcast out there that we both think you would all enjoy.
It's one of both of our favorite shows to listen to, and it's none other than the True Bromance Podcast.
True Bromance is a movie podcast hosted by longtime friends Hyro and Barry, and if you like to smile, laugh, and just be genuinely entertained while listening to movie talk, then this is definitely the right show for you.
Each week, the guys break down a recently released movie, and not only do they tie in the movie that week to the beers that they are drinking during the show,
but they also tie it in to a real fun top and bottom 5 list associated with that movie.
It's a blast hearing both sides of these lists, and it definitely makes them unique amongst all other movie review podcasts.
So we definitely want to recommend all of you guys to go check out their show. Just search out the True Bromance Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and all other podcast platforms. And if you listen via iTunes, do us a favor and leave them a 5-star review. And don't forget to let them know that the Cinema Geeks sent you.
Now back to the show. Do you see how your patience paid off?
All right, thanks for sticking with us. As I said, there were 6 films that appeared on at least 3 of our lists. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these films, guys, because most of them people are aware of and have heard of them probably ad nauseum, but we will say a few words about them. So starting off, we had one film that appeared on both mine, Amanda's, and Matt's. And maybe guilty pleasure, maybe some nostalgia pulling through here. It was number 14 on my list, number 25 on Matt's. Amanda, this was your number 2. Let everybody know what it was.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
I didn't know we needed this until I found out as a thing, and then I said, yes, we've always needed this.
Matt, any comments on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I mean, submitted for the approval of the Podcast Society.
Boom.
This movie.
Boom. All right. I mean, I'm not I'm going to hold out too much hope that this is going to be great, but I'm still going to see it. So next up on our comment list, this one was on my list, Amanda's list, and Dan's list, ranking at 16, 14, and 7. Amanda, you had it the highest, so we'll let you reveal it again. What was your number 7?
The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Why The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix?
I'm intrigued.
Dan?
Yeah, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, I think, is one of their best actors. I've enjoyed a lot of the footage we've seen of this already. I feel like I've already seen the movie with how much has been released on Twitter. But yeah, I just want to see Joaquin Phoenix in this role. So.
All right. Next up, we have a movie that I was not anticipating being amongst the common films. But Matt, you had this at number 18. I had it at 11. Dan, you had it at 7. It's a film entitled Knives Out. Dan, tell people what it is if they're not aware of it and why it's on your list.
Rian Johnson, the person who made, for me, what's one of the best Star Wars movies ever, and Return of the Jedi, or not Return of the Jedi, but man, it's late. I'm sorry. What movie did he do? Jesus.
Last Jedi?
The last, no, what? I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyways, Ryan Johnson, who he's done obviously the last Star Wars film. He directed, of course, Looper, which is fantastic, and also Brick. So I'm excited to see what he can do. It looks like he's going back to science fiction with his own property. So, I really think he's got a really knack for the genre. And even if you didn't love his Star Wars movies, I think. If you go back and see Looper and see even Brick, which is more crime based, you can see like he's really understanding genre and how to utilize genre. So that's why I'm anticipating.
All right, Matt, quick thoughts on Knives Out and why it made your list?
Yeah, dude, Ryan Johnson's dope, and I will see any movie he does because I love The Last Jedi so much. I am also down with Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, and Michael Shannon, who are all great.
Yeah.
Also, Christopher Plummer and Jamie Lee Curtis, who I haven't seen as much works from, but I know they're famous.
All right, excellent. Another one that was on all three of our lists. Not surprising that it's not on Matt's list, given the genre, but 16 on Dan's list, 21 on mine, 14 on Amanda's. Amanda, what did you have at 14?
It's Chapter 2.
Why?
The first installment was great, and seeing like James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, who else is going to be in it?
It's also got Bill Hader and Bill Skarsgård.
Yes, so I think those people in these roles, it's going to be super interesting and super intense.
Dan, looking forward to It Chapter 2?
Yeah, I really like the first one, so definitely looking to see where it goes next.
Bill Skarsgård is it, so.
Okay. All right, we're not going to be off the beaten path anymore. We're going to be very predictable the rest of the way out. We have 2 more on 3 of our lists and 2 more on 4 of our lists. Let's get those other 2 that were only on 3. First one was on my list at number 19. It was on Amanda's list at number 9. Matt, you had it the highest, though, at number 4. Dan had it down at 28, so it really was kind of on all 4 of our lists. Matt, what did you have at number 4?
I had Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, come on, Homecoming might have been the greatest, origin, quotation marks, starter of a franchise movie ever. I get that we had, 4 origin movies before it, so we knew who Spider-Man was, and also he's been around for, 60 years. But, come on, after that last one, here's the thing. Everyone's all like, oh, I like Amazing Spider-Man, or, oh, I like Toby Keith, the guy who was a country singer who was also Spider-Man. and everyone agrees on Tom Holland. Everyone's like, oh, I guess all of those debates were wrong before because Tom Holland is the best one. And now he gets his own movie a second time.
Dan, quick thoughts on Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Jake Gyllenhaal can do as Mysterio. I think it's a villain I really wanted them to try to do in a movie. It's going to be challenging, of course, but I think he has the right knack for it. And Tom Holland, I do think, is a fantastic Spider-Man. I was a little bummed when they were showing Nick Fury was going to be part of it, just because I was hoping he would kind of be able to be the biggest star in his own movie, but we'll see, because he might end up still being that. But yeah.
Amanda, you were stoked on Mysterio, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal looked pretty badass, and I'm interested in seeing him as a villain.
All right. Last one that only appeared on 3 of our list. Hey, let's reveal some people's number 1 picks. This was number 4 on Dan's list, number 1 on my list, number 1 on Matt's list, not on Amanda's list. Matt, I'll let you do the honors.
It's Star Wars, and it's always going to be number 1 for forever because it's Star Wars. Hey, this one has got Rey in it, and she is one of my favorites. Also, Rose is not dead. She better be in this one. You hear me, JJ? Rose.
Dan, does it make it more of an anticipation level here as it's rounding out this trilogy compared to maybe the second installment or something of that nature?
Yeah, it's interesting because my question is after this episode, are they done with these characters? Because that's something we haven't really dealt with, because it seems that makes me question are we going to get another one? Because it's always been trilogies. Maybe that'll change. So I don't know what that means, but It's my number 4. Really, it's Star Wars. I'm anticipating it. I'm not super excited about J.J. Abrams coming back, per se. I really would rather Rian Johnson kind of continue the direction he was going, just because I think J.J. Abrams is great at creating mystery and kind of great at setting things up. Not necessarily always great at answering what he initially sets up, like with Super 8, even the Star Trek films. But I hope that there'll be enough here in order to make it work. So, and I really look forward for there to be a trailer or something like that, because I'm hoping like some reason it doesn't get pushed back or something, but we'll see.
All right, next up are our 2 films that appeared on all 4 of our list. Dan, are you surprised that there was only 2?
Yeah, I thought there would be more. I'm not gonna lie. I thought more people would have Toy Story. I guess I'm crazy.
Yeah, I thought there would just be more in general too, but there was a lot of diversity in our list. We had a lot of different films represented. Some of them we didn't even get to talk to because of time limits, etc. So let's go with I'll combine the rankings and we'll do it that way. So a combined ranking of 40, I guess. So it was 19th, 16th, 3rd, and 2nd on the 4 lists. And the first one up that we'll talk about, hey, this should be no surprise. We did a whole series on this director. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. So 19 on Matt's list. Where did Amanda have this? At 16, and I had it at 3. Dan, you had it at 2. So you had it the highest, so you get the honors of talking about it first. Why so high for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Like you said, Quentin Tarantino is probably my favorite director. I don't think he's made a bad movie I've liked more than others. So simply because of that, him taking on this type of story also seems really fascinating. I mean, cast is stacked from Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Al Pacino, Timothy Olyphant. I mean, what you typically get with it feels like either he goes one way where he has a huge cast with people, or he just has like a couple people. But yeah, I'm a huge Scorsese. Jeez, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I think this is right in his wheelhouse. So simple as that, really.
Amanda, quick take on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Quentin Tarantino.
I mean...
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, quick take?
Yeah, dude, Quentin Tarantino. He's like one of my top 3 favorite directors. I hope this one's good.
All right. So that is one of the 2 films that we all had on our list. Anybody have a guess as to what the other one is, Dan?
Let me think here for a moment in time. Was it Pet Sematary? No.
I'll give you a hint. It's coming up at the end.
Oh. I'm gonna go with perhaps Avengers Endgame. Is that it?
Avengers Endgame in all of our top 10s. Number 9 for me. Number 5 for Amanda. Number 3 for Matt. Dan, this is your number 1. So again, you go first. Not a lot needs to be said, but Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, as I said, Tarantino is my favorite director. Probably the only thing that's going to beat him out is this Avengers film. And I think I said it, the last Avengers movie was my number 1 anticipated film. I love great cinema. I love great, foreign films, documentaries, but I also love myself a great Avengers comic book movie. And, this is the end, legitimately could be the end of this universe, of this part of the universe with characters that we've been with for a decade, 11 years now, and I just want to see how they're gonna end this. And I have a strong feeling that no one's gonna die, and that's gonna piss off a lot of people, but I just think it'll it's loving how they've been building it through the trailers and stuff like that, where like I have no idea what's happening in a good way, which they're doing everything they should, and the Russo brothers have not disappointed me yet. So yeah, I don't think I don't know if I'll be able to have this type of anticipation for our Avengers movie again, just because knowing we've been around with these characters, good chance that none of them are coming back after this, even if it's just because of contracts. That's why it's my number 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the same year, we're getting a film like, the Star Wars film, which is putting a bow possibly on that trilogy, and we're also getting the Avengers Endgame, which is not necessarily putting a bow on it, but kind of what we've been looking forward to in this film franchise as well. Matt, can it live up to the hype?
I mean, for some it's definitely gonna, and for some it's definitely not gonna. But I mean, like, any glove enthusiast has really got to go see this one. Like, he's got the biggest glove.
Amanda, we've revealed a bunch of films for 2019, a lot to look forward to, perusing your list and kind of as you compiled it. What do you think? Are you looking forward to this year in film?
I mean, I'm always hopeful. So, yeah.
All right. Matt, what do you think? Are we going to get you to the theater a few times based on this list?
Yeah, like, I mean, I have to see Sonic. And I saw Frozen. Here's a fun fact. Frozen 2 was so high on my list. Frozen 1, I didn't see it until it had been in the theater for over 365 days. Because that movie stayed in theaters for over a dang year, y'all. Like, but I still, like, bought the soundtrack on my way home, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, as we close this episode out, somewhat of a similar question. Obviously, we're coming off of a good movie year in 2018. Is this going to put the exclamation point on the decade? It's the last chance for, films to sneak into the best of decade lists and things of that nature. Do we have a stacked year of film to look forward to?
I think it's, when you have a year that you have, a Linklater, Scorsese, and Tarantino all coming out with movies. Obviously, we talked about a lot of directors that are on their precipice of becoming bigger. Some movies, a lot of movies that are coming out that we didn't talk about. And there's always those hidden gems that kind of come out of nowhere. So I think it'll be a strong list. There's a lot of movies here that could go either way. Like Joker could be fantastic, it could be awful. If The Irishman was bad, that would break my heart. But so I think we'll be in a good year. It does seem like we should have a pretty good comic book movie year.
Yeah.
With, Shazam and Joker, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, if those all pull through. I think I'm excited to see, where we're headed. It does seem like we're in this transition period where we have all these directors that are kind of coming up and kind of going in to be the next, like Rian Johnson and stuff like that, where some of the old guard are still kind of there to show what they have as well.
Yeah, it also seems like there might be a little bit for everybody because there's a lot of different genres represented here. Seems like a lot of horror films coming out, a lot of animated films. Could be a great year in animation. We got some fantasy, a lot of science fiction, obviously your comic book stuff. So, even a couple war movies. So, it seems like there could be a little bit for everybody. I'm interested to see where this year takes us for sure. So those are our picks for films we're most looking forward to. If you guys have questions for us or comments or, want to pick our brain anymore or throw out your film that you're most looking forward to, hit us up on Twitter. You can do that by tweeting to the show at Cinema Geekcast, or if you have a specific question for one of us as an individual, you can do that. Amanda, how do people get in touch with you on Twitter?
At Hard Candy Mandy, eyes, no eyes.
Mine is at Optimus Solo. Dan, yours is?
At Movie Revolt.
And Matt?
I am at Fridley Scent. Let's talk about Ludicolo.
So that does it for this week. Tune in next week for another chance to listen to The Cinema Geeks.